19 kids are dead. 19 children are dead. And so to my Republican colleagues, I ask, who are you here for? Are you here for our kids, or are you here for the killers? Because if you were here for the kids, you would do all you could to protect the next school shooting that's about to happen. And we know what's going to happen in America. You would vote to raise the age on purchasing an assault rifle. You would vote to ban high-capacity magazines. You would vote to require safe storage. And you would vote to address ghost guns, which are ravaging communities across America. But if you're here for the killers, you would do everything to make it easier for the next school shooting to happen. And Mr. Jordan, to say we are trying to dramatically change the country, if trying to make sure that no more kids are put in the ground with a Superman coffin means dramatically change the country, guilty. That's why we're here. Kids are going in the ground today, and you call that trying to dramatically change the country. Why aren't you trying to dramatically change the number of dead kids going into the ground, Mr. Jordan? Who are you here for, the kids or the killers? My Republican colleagues are here for carnival games. They say it's about mental health. Okay, we try and fund mental health, they vote against it. They say it's about schools. We try and fund the schools, fund the teachers. They vote against it. They say it's about policing. $300 million in the American Rescue Plan for community policing. They all voted against it. And they don't want to listen to the police. If they listen to the police, they listen to the major cities' chiefs who have called for background checks, red flag laws, banning bump stocks, and banning high-capacity magazines. My favorite, it's about the family. We need to address the family issues in America. But we don't want to help feed a family. We're going to make it harder for kids to live on food stamps. We don't want to help a family learn. We're going to go after teachers in America. We don't want to help kids go to college. We don't want to give them jobs. We're going to vote against the infrastructure and jobs bill. And then they say that laws don't work. But they have no problem crafting laws to take away a woman's right to make her own healthcare decision. That law must work. They have no problem going after laws to ban drugs. There's plenty of laws on the books to ban drugs. But no, it's all about the person. Laws don't work when you have evil in our country. That's what they tell us. And then they tell us that we're in a country where you have violent video games, mental health problems, schools that can't be secured, and too many gun-free zones. And their solution to that is to put more of the most dangerous weapons into that mix. That's insane. So who are you here for? Our kids or the killers? I'm here for people like Alex Navarro. She's a Moms Demand Action leader in the San Francisco Bay Area. And last week, after I convened a meeting among my constituents and people like Fred Guttenberg and Dr. Joe Saccharin, an emergency room physician at Johns Hopkins, Alex Navarro told my constituents that her 6-year-old daughter, after Uvalde, after seeing the images behind me, said to her, "Mom, what picture are you going to use for me? What picture are you going to use for me?" That's what children are asking their parents across America, because they don't believe they're going to come out alive. What picture are you going to use for me? We're supposed to be the protectors. We're supposed to be here for the kids. And so to my colleagues today who flew in town, came to work, got ready to argue, my question is, why did you come here at all? Why did you come here at all? If you're not here for the children, why don't you go to the funeral of the killer? Because that's the only place where the killer is being celebrated. We're here to get things done and protect our kids. What's your job? Jim Jordan's obstruction of justice committees that he's overseeing have less credibility today than they did when we convened just 3 weeks ago. The other day, Jim Jordan was asked, well, what do you think of the former president who put out on Truth Social the other day, essentially another call to action, a January 6th-like post, when the former president said this posting. Jim Jordan was presented with this post by the former president that calls for death and destruction. And Mr. Jordan said that he would need his glasses. He was looking the other way. Jim Jordan, looking the other way. Well, here we are, another partners meeting of Insurrection, LLC. That's what this is. This is the newly formed largest law firm in Washington, D.C. Only has one client, maybe a second client that we're going to learn about today, but that client is former President Donald Trump. Their job is to litigate every one of his petty grievances. It's now 321 days since this subpoena was sent to Jim Jordan that he did not comply with. So it's comical that we are here today under Jim Jordan's leadership asking people why they don't want to comply with subpoenas. The guy won't comply with the one that was sent to him 321 days ago. Witness to a crime, the crime that has led to more arrests than any investigation in America. Hearing of this committee to obstruct justice. Chairman Jordan is now interfering in an independent criminal prosecution. There's an investigation in Manhattan, also in Atlanta, also at the Department of Justice, into the former president. And Jim Jordan has sent a letter to the independently elected District Attorney, Alvin Bragg of Manhattan. He is asking Alvin Bragg to commit a felony. Why is he asking Alvin Bragg to commit a felony? To help Donald Trump. Why is it a felony? Because if Alvin Bragg were to turn over what Jim Jordan is asking, Alvin Bragg would be violating New York law that says you cannot turn over grand jury proceedings. But that's what they're asking him to do. Again, the law doesn't matter if your client is Donald Trump. Again, I'm going to leave this up here. The same individual who posted this also posted this photo. There you go, Donald Trump, real tough guy, holding a baseball bat next to a picture of that independent prosecutor that Jim Jordan wants to commit a felony, Alvin Bragg. But you won't hear from this committee to obstruct justice any condemnation of what Donald Trump posted. They can't condemn him. There's silence. They condone it. And in these posts from Donald Trump, he incites more and more Americans to commit violence, like a woman who was arrested yesterday near Times Square with a knife, seeking to carry out an act of violence in Donald Trump's name. There's no credibility. There's no credibility on Jim Jordan's committee to obstruct justice. he can't talk credibly about witnesses not complying with subpoenas, and that's why he's not here. He wasn't at the last hearing. He often goes to subcommittee hearings. This is one of the only ones he doesn't go to. It's because there's no credibility. You can't ask people to comply. You can't complain when people don't comply when you are 321 days into your own non-compliance. More kids will be victims of gun violence, and the committee that can do something about it will focus on this nonsense.
Madam Speaker, when I heard that we're going to remove a member of this House from their committee for anti-Semitism, I raced down here because I thought, finally, in this chamber, there's going to be some accountability from this conference that continues to allow its members to root for rioters, to show sympathy for the insurrection, a conference that harbors a wanted international criminal and has members who choose violence over voting every single day, finally. And so I thought, we're going to hold someone accountable for anti-Semitism. Surely it's the author of this tweet. Kanye, Elon, Trump, October 6th, written by Chairman Jim Jordan. October 8th, what does Kanye say? I'm going to declare DEFCON 3 on the Jews. So surely this tweet came down, right? Came down, was deleted. No, 2 more months it was kept up. 2 more months. So don't come here looking at us for anti-Semitism. Look in your own damn mirror before you ever come over here. And